All right, guys, let's take a look at question number 7. Find the decimal notation of 5 over 11. So we got 5 over 11 here. If you looked at the last video, we talked about different ways of approaching problems, and we said one of the ways that you want to approach it is if the bottom is easy to convert to convert it to this 10, 100, 1,000, whatever, by multiplying by some number, go ahead and do so. Okay. Well, 11 clearly is not. So probably the best, maybe not the best, but one of the best ways to approach this is we're just going to do long division. So 5 over 11. We're just going to convert it this way. Okay. 11 obviously doesn't go into 5, so we have to include a 0 here. And we're going to go, let me change the color here. How many times does 11 go into 50? That's going to go in 4 times. 4 times 11 is 44. Subtract, this is going to get me 6. Ask yourself, how many times does 6 go into 11? It doesn't, so we include another 0. We're going to drop that down. We have 60. How many times does 11 go into 60? Let's just say it's 5. 5 times 11 is 55. Subtract. Let me change the color here. This is going to give me 50. I'm sorry, 5. Getting ahead of myself here because we're going to include another 0. Bring it down. It's going to become 50. Again, how many times does 11 go into 50? 4 times. We can do it one more time, and you start to realize this is getting a little redundant. This is 6. Add another 0. Bring that down. It's 60. Does 11 go into 60? 5 times. And you see that this is just repeating over and over again. Okay? So the answer here is going to be 0.45 repeating. Okay? We look over here at the answer choice, the answer key, and we'll see that we get 0.45 repeating for number 7. Okay? Now, I was hesitant to do this problem this way because if you were in my class, I made a list one day in class, and I would just make a habit of just knowing what these are right here. I just memorize this. I think this makes your life a lot easier in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so you should know that 1/2 is 0.50 or 0.5, right? This is pretty obvious. I mean, half of $1 is 50 cents, right? 1/3 is 0.3 repeating. I always like to write whenever it's repeating, unless it's like 0.45455. I always like to write, if it's just one digit repeating, I always like to write it twice. I don't know, it just sometimes helps me to see that it's repeating. It's just a visual thing for me. 1/4 is 0.25. Quarter is 25 cents. 1/5 is 0.2. If you've ever weighted tables, 20% tip, just take your bill and divide by 5. 1/6 is roughly 1/6. It's actually 166 repeating. So, right, 1 point. Just the 6, by the way, that's repeating, not the 1. Okay, 1/7, I just think 7 times 2 is 14. So it's roughly 0.14. It's not exactly 0.14, but it's roughly 0.14. 1/8 is a fourth. I'm sorry, is half of a fourth. So that's just 0.125. 12.5 is plus 12.5 is 25. 1/9, I always like 1/9. It's just 0.111 repeating. Okay. 1/10 is 0.10. And 1/11 is actually 0.09 repeating. So this is actually the same thing as 0.09. That's a 909 repeating. Okay. Now you might stop here and you might ask yourself, well, Mr. James, why are you telling me this? Why do I need to know this? And my answer to you is that in each of these situations, these are not hard numbers to multiply by. So if I give you 2/3, you know it's just take 0.33 and multiply by 2, and you get 0.66 repeating. If I give you 0.25 and I ask you to solve for 3/4, you can just take 0.25 times 3, think of 3/4, you got 75 cents. If I give you 2/5, then I just have to, all I have to do is take 0.2 and multiply by 2, and I get 0.4, etc., etc., etc. And so for 1 over 11, 1 over 11th is 0.090909, so it's actually just factors of 9. So 2/11ths, let me write off here, 2/11ths is just nothing more than 0.9 times 2. It's just literally, if you know your products of 9, you're in good shape. 3/11ths is just 3 times 9, which is 27, so 0.272727, etc., etc. So if I ask you for 5 out of 11, it's just 5 times 9 is 45, and oh, look at that, 0.4545454545. And there you have it, okay? And since we're already on this topic, just one more thing I'd just like to point out. I just think this is kind of cool. Okay, this is just a little aside. If you don't want to listen to this video, this is not going to help you on the final, but I just think this is interesting. If 1/9 is 0.1111, 2/9 is 0.222, right? 3/9 would be 0.333. And this makes sense because 3/9 reduces to 1/3, which is 0.3333, right? What's interesting is that if I follow this pattern, right, I'm just multiplying here. I would multiply 0.111 by 2. Here, multiply 0.33 by 3. If I follow this pattern, 9 over 9 is actually 0.999 repeating, okay? But we know 9 over 9 is 1. So what does that mean? Running out of space here, but let's throw this over here. That means 0.999 repeating is 1. Okay? This is kind of counterintuitive. This is kind of what is one of the reasons why I find math to be so interesting. But what I'm saying here is that not that 0.9999 rounds to 1, but it actually is equal to 1. Okay? So this is one of the cool things about math, is that dig deep enough in math, you start to see that your intuition often leads to the correct values and correct answers, but there's some things in life that are not necessarily what your intuition tells you. So in 0.999 being equal to 1, not rounding to 1, is one of them, as long as 0.999 continues. Okay? So hopefully you found that interesting. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I will see you guys in the next video.